Oh no! The screen is black. We know what must be done. We must just change the source. There we go. Excellent, excellent. How are you all doing? I saw, I don't know, it didn't show a pop-up in the alerts, but I did see Tarantula. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the student body. Enjoy those fun emotes. CJ's like, I've seen the first half of all of these streams. And that's it. The stock birds. Oh god. Pro tip. Never pour. Hey, Techie, 30 months. Thank you for re-upping, and happy early birthday. We'll say happy birthday again. Oh, I should probably... Yeah, Discord. I'm so bad at pinging Discord these days. Oh, you did it. Don't ping everyone. People get pissed when you do that. That's why we have the YouTube notification roll, so that doesn't happen. Oh, again, never pour the alcohol second. Always pour the alcohol first. Then pour the mixer. I only did this to make sure the Sprite wasn't flat, but now this... I'm just tasting the vodka on top and none of the Sprite. No, it's alright. Well, I mean, it's cool because, like, it is a fucking, like, fight song, because that's... Whenever that song played in Bento, it's because they were fighting. Oh, that's cool, Lugia. Well, it's vodka Sprite. One of the more common drinks you'll run into if you start frequenting places with drinks or you hear people ordering it is called 7 and 7. And what a 7 and 7 is supposed to be is Seagram 7 whiskey and 7-Up. However, it's just whiskey and white soda. So you can make it Sprite and... well, I guess you don't really want to do Jack. That would be kind of... Well, I guess you could. But Jack's a little different. Jack has this weird hint of banana in it. It's really good, but it is also not a standard whiskey. Present my evidence, Trucy. How about we move? So I'm thinking for Spirit of Justice, white grapefruit soda. I mean, if you like it, I guess that would be akin to like a sour. It'd be similar to like a whiskey sour, I would think, except it tastes more grapefruity, which I'm not personally a fan of, but I know some people really like it. Hey, you want this? I bought this for my wife and we can't even use it. Like, my PC can't play this. It's too good. And it sucks because I played Myst, I never played Riven or Exile. White soda, Sprite, 7-Up. It's not Sierra Mist anymore, right? It's like Starry or something. Oh, Lucy's with her mum. No, I have a disk drive. It just won't read it. I have a portable disk drive. So I just bought it for her on Steam. So we just play it on Steam. But it was cool to have, like, you know, like, oh man, we got this box with the CD-ROM, and it's like, computer's too good. I don't like Starry. So I wish it was still Sierra Mist. Yeah, maybe they're rolling it out like slowly to see how people respond to it, and if like people hate it, they might, you know, roll it back. It's possible, but here it's Starry. It is the Pepsi White soda, but it's not Sierra Mist anymore. Anyways, so like I was saying, I'm thinking of by the time we get to Spirited Justice, I want to have it's the final game for now, right? We'll play like fan games and stuff, right? But one of the reasons that I've gone kind of casual with my appearance recently is getting kind of tired of the basic look. So what I'm going to do is try to create a look where it's like, that's a gaming lawyer. Not just a lawyer with headphones and happens to be playing a game. I want it to look like, that's a gaming lawyer. From the headphones to the attire. So I gotta work on that. Ooh, disagree. Disagree. I like Sprite the most. I'd probably like 7-Up the least. I would actually probably flip that around. Unless it's with alcohol, then 7-Up's a little better because it's not as sweet. I'm gonna be the gimmicky prosecutor. We were here only yesterday. So yesterday. Oh, hey. It's a Starbuck. You've been released, huh? Well, I mean, he was found not guilty. Yep, but I came straight here. This is all thanks to you and your team, Mr. Wright. Giving me a second chance to fly into space again. I can't thank you enough. Except... bone juice? Like what bone marrow would taste like? You drink Sprite or vinegar? So you just drink vinegar? I think that'd taste more like bone juice than Sprite. The best root beer is Barks. And you know why Barks is the best? Because it actually has caffeine in it. Which is, oh. Oh. No, I don't think we will. What's wrong? I thought I'd be happy to be acquitted. He was coming to the detention center. I saw Miss Sykes. He saw Athena? I was at a loss for words. I didn't know what to say to the poor girl. And then, you know what? She flashed the peace sign at me. Congratulations on your acquittal, she said. Now you can go back into space someday. Yeah, it sounds like Athena. I can just picture it. I saw her eyes. They were red and swollen from crying. She's gotta be suffering. She must be so worried. Yeah, no shit. And she went out of her way to be nice and give me that big smile. She held back her own tears so she could give someone else a smile. Man, my throat's really dry for... Bone hurting juice? What the hell is that? Yeah, we got some Barks fans. We got some Barks fans. Let's do it. Let's do it. It does have a distinct flavor. So, like, you can, like, not be in the mood for it. Whereas A&W and Mug taste a lot more similar. Sprecher kind of tastes like... Nah, Sprecher's better than Mugger. A&W, though. I just remember, for some reason, hating Mug when I was younger. And then that just kind of went away. I just had it one day when I was older. I was like, oh, this is really good. I mean, root beer is very different from, your typical soda. I'd figure that it'd have its, fans and detractors. Nope. Nope. Not only was it bad, it was insulting root beer. I've had Moxie before. Moxie's is good. Moxie's one of those things, though, where like you said, like it depends on my mood. That's... Oh. That's so Athena. There's no question about it. That girl's innocent. Please, Mr. Wright, you have to make sure she goes free. And then they can put me in prison instead. I don't mind. Can't have that either, Mr. Starbuck. Don't worry, Mr. Starbuck. I'm gonna give her the very best defense I can. I promise to get her acquitted, just like I did for you. I know she'll be alright with you in her corner. I know you'll never give up on her. Apollo has a fine boss to look up to. I've never had 1919, so I cannot comment on that. Still can't believe Launchpad 1 was switched with the Space Museum. What could have made Director Cosmos do such a thing? I have the foggiest idea. Okay, I thought we'd get past the... Okay, I guess not. So there was never going to be a launch that day, not from the very beginning. I wonder if Clay knew. I imagine he must have. Surely he would have noticed when you went to board the rocket. It's pathetic to think I was the only one who got taken in. But I guess that's about how it goes when you're worth less than space debris. That's ironic because some space debris I think can be very valuable. Is he gonna be alright, Daddy? His expression looks as dark as a black hole. That is actually the most extreme example you can bring up when referring to dark. Like, holy shit. If you want the exaggerations of exaggerations, it's his expression looks as dark as a phenomenon that's like light literally cannot escape from and is utterly devoid of light. Oh, damn, Trucy. Well, that's just how he is. Black hole of depression. Mr. Starbuck, do you remember anything about the murder? Not really. I only saw a shadowy figure in the dark after all. I think KY gets a lot of Zevia soda, if I remember correctly. Isn't their thing like they're not as sugary or something? Or are they all like 0 calorie or I thought they had a thing about them. Yeah, I guess that was a little too much to hope for. Hey, I heard something from the police though. They said they never did find a 10 caliber gun down that trash chute. Just as I thought, the culprit must have carried it away with them when they escaped. So was the person you saw holding a gun, was the person you saw holding a gun, Mr. Starbuck? I couldn't really tell, but it wasn't Athena, right? Could you tell if the person was a male or female, tall or short, thin or wide? I can't even tell you that much. Man, I'm useless. Yeah, actually. The culprit opened the door and some light came in. I should have been able to see. The door. Ah, yes. Ah! Phantom Black. That's a good one. That's a good one. Fanta does have one of my top 3 like most annoying fucking commercials I've ever seen. It wasn't even that the commercial was bad. They had a bunch of like cute girls and stuff. It just came on all the goddamn time. Don't you wanna Fanta? Don't you wanna Fanta? Don't you wanna? Pretend I'm a hot girl and that's what was happening. They had a girl dressed for each of the flavors. Like I said, easy on the eyes, but holy shit. Just too much, too often. I don't particularly like their soda very much, so. I wish I could remember like what I was watching at the time. That like I saw it so often. Was it like Cartoon Network or was it like after that? That's what Fanta did to me. I remember seeing the commercials, but not the fucking actual content that I was trying to watch. It was a while ago, Techie. Like maybe around like somewhere, and this is gonna be a wide date range, but somewhere between 1998 and 2005 is when it aired. Fanta was invented in Germany, and then they started marketing it as like a tropical brand soda? What? I would never have guessed that. As I recall, they opened this door here as they made their escape. There's no such thing as classic orange. They pronounced it Fanta in that commercial. Everyone I know that has ever said the word out loud says Fanta, but a lot of people in Wisconsin also say things incorrectly. And even after you correct them, they do not say it correctly. So I don't really know. That's just what the commercial said. The commercial could be wrong. The door to Launchpad 1, right? Yeah, except right now the door leads to the Space Museum. It's possible that they specifically twisted it to make it rhyme with wanna. I don't know. It could be. You could be. This is all speculation. I'm just reporting what the commercial said. I have no idea. You mean the Launchpad and the Space Museum are switched right now? Yeah, they're trying to investigate the theory you came up with in court. So they're recreating the conditions, huh? I'd like to see what's beyond that door now. I don't know what puppy monkey baby is. I'm not sure I want to know. Hey, Luigi's. Mr. Starbuck, could you open this door for us? Sure, just let me have my print scan here. Oh god, that Sprite cranberry shit was obnoxious. 2018 Super Bowl commercial. I don't remember that at all. Man, there's some strong opinions of this. All right, hold on. I need to see what you're. I need to see what you guys are talking about. I booked my ticket to Japan today. Pretty hype about that. Why is there a remake? Remix? Why is that happening? I have never seen that in my life. It said 2016 Super Bowl. What Super Bowl was that? Because I obviously did not watch it. Oh, the Broncos and the Panthers. That's why I didn't watch it. Shit was boring. That was weird. Not only was the thing off-putting, but the way it was moving was gross. It licked him several times for some reason, kicked the bag of ice on him, or the bucket of ice on him, and he just was kind of unperturbed by that for some reason. And then they all just started to get up and dance. I did not want one of those Midnight Grape Mountain Dews or whatever the fuck that was. That's for goddamn sure. Yeah, but the ice bucket's not supposed to go directly onto your nuts, which it did for him. Which then the puppy monkey baby stepped on. No, I do not. I am displeased to have known that now that existed. Sometimes knowledge comes at a cost. The launch pads get switched back and forth a lot. The back of the Space Museum was Launchpad 2. They used to switch the pads around at... What was that? No, it's not catchy. It's annoying. I can only imagine the people that had to sit there and watch that over and over again. Of course, they chose the ugliest goddamn dog, too. Which, was it a pug or something? Look, I have nothing against pug. You want to get a pug? You get a pug. You love your pug. Those things are ugly. Hey, Acme, thank you for the raid. Also, welcome, Tara. Were you guys playing this fine evening? Oh, yeah, I generally agree with you. But isn't part of their health issues stem from, like, their appearance? Like, the reason they look that way is also part of the reason they have health issues. Like, I agree. I don't think... There are a lot of reasons to breed dogs so that the... Take my dog. My dog is a sheepdog poodle mix. Now, some people will say, "Oh, breeding dogs, brr, brr, brr. Get rescue dogs." Like, whatever. Not everybody can get the perfect rescue dog, especially when they're horrendously allergic to dogs. Anyways, in her situation, they're healthier than full-bred sheepdogs or poodles. So, like, that's beneficial. As opposed to, like, I mean, some people are just against breeding dogs altogether, which I totally understand. But, like, I think we can all agree it's definitely worse when you specifically breed something that is made worse health-wise. Oh, there it goes. Oh, something was weird with YouTube for a second. Oh, Professor Layton? Nice. Yeah, I agree. Well, I agree with the second part. They do not look good. Oh, man. Alright, let me forget that I saw that commercial. Or at least drink and forget that I saw that commercial. Yeah, make sure you go check out Acme's channel. They do a lot of base attorney stuff. And they play Professor Layton. I don't play Professor Layton, so... there's that. I have to get more alcohol because of... knowledge. It's a double-edged sword, right? No, it wasn't your fault. It's the people at Mountain Dew's fault. Would Baby Puppy Monkey have been better? Or worse, I should say. I don't know. I think they might have taken the worst possible combination of those three. I think that is a legitimate case for the worst combination of those three things. And the pug head on baby legs is any better? Centaurs look good. Mermaids look good. But do you think a mermaid would look better with human legs and a fish face? Always give me the human head. They used to switch the pads around at times, but these days Launchpad 2 is only used as a tourist attraction, right? Right, because quite frankly, the Space Center needs the money. I hear you. Times sure are tough. What a random, like, okay. Is that supposed to give us some insight as to the economy? Or... I feel like that's such a throwaway line. That's like, it's the type of line that that people say a lot in small talk that is unnecessary. That we would be better off just not even, like, it was a waste of our time to have that interaction. That's what I felt like just happened there. Times sure are tough. What does that even mean? We're not talking about Dark Age of the Law because he's talking about, like, money problems. That has nothing to do with the Dark Age of the Law, at least not that we know of so far. I mean, no, that's a good point, Halucha. Is he talking about himself? Is he talking about everyone in general? The country? The world? That statement is worthless without further context. It just doesn't need to be said. Doesn't need to be included in dialogue. Unless they were specifically going for awkward small talk interaction, which they're obviously not. Yeah, Tara, go ahead. Daddy, let's go check out what's beyond that door. Sure, let's go. Hey, why not come along? I can show you around. How about you? God damn it. Fuck, I guess he's coming then. Hey. What is this leaf? Looks like Bulbasaur attacked somebody again. Huh? I wonder what these dead leaves are doing here. Maybe they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes. There are a lot of trees around the Space Center. Yeah, around the Space Center. She's right. It's a modern state-of-the-art building, but it's surrounded by trees. But I don't know. If they were stuck to the bottom of somebody's shoes, wouldn't they look more crushed up? These don't look like they've been stepped on. Maybe there's some kind of secret hatch in the corridor, and they came in that way? Not everything is set up like a magician's stage, you know? I mean, if anybody tells you they love all their clients, they're full of shit. This game's just great because I get to vocalize it. My dislike. And that's not something I could generally do. God, that is scrambled. Is anybody else having that issue when it's at 720? It's like YouTube is fighting with itself. Well, that's certainly a Spider-Man meme. Sure. Sure. I guess it could be on your end, then, if nobody else is having an issue with it. If everybody was having an issue with it, then yeah, that'd be problematic. So this is another one of those devices for opening the door, huh? Yep, but this one doesn't require fingerprint verification. You just hit the button and open sesame. So when you and Clay went through here, you didn't need to show your prints either? That's right, Trucy, just like how the culprit didn't need to scan their prints when they escaped back out of the Space Museum corridor into Boarding Lounge 2. I don't see anything else that jumps out at me. I imagine this corridor is built exactly like the Launchpad 1 corridor. You shouldn't make that assumption, sir. Ugh. Curse that. Oh, I wasn't ready for his voice for some reason. just a skill issue. Curse the rat who sullied my good name. Reverse course and full speed away. Director Cosmos, wait. I'll handle this, Daddy. Take that. The mobility system has been compromised. Juicy's knife throw was... Excuse me? He just let her throw a knife at this dude? Oh. Juicy's knife throw was a direct hit to one of his tires. Lucky it wasn't to one of his knees. And the streak of not hurting someone continues. Maybe I should have kept a closer watch on what tricks she's been practicing. Are you fucking kidding me? That's what the streak was, right? Of her not hitting somebody with the knife? You spelled judgment wrong, Halucha. God. Not that anybody wants their ears to be bleeding anyways. My dear old battleship, we fought many a skirmish together. That's been an honor. Daddy, he's gonna blow that thing up. Nah, I bet all that button will do is make you go haywire again. Very well. I surrender. As a prisoner of war, I expected to be treated honorably. Judgment lights up! Like that. Yeah, there's technically two spellings, but I only accept the one. No. Hey, thank you for the $2 Aussie. That one's much more pleasant to the ears. So anyways, before our ears were destroyed, have you guys seen that Arnold has a new show coming on Netflix called Fubar? And I'm probably gonna actually watch it. And it's gonna suck. That's one of the Ava versions of Fly Me to the Moon, yes. Director Cosmos, when you were talking in court about switching the launch pads, you used your right to remain silent about the reason as to why. The center of the cosmos is shrouded in mystery, but I don't have any secrets left. Now that my battleship has been destroyed, and I've been taken prisoner. No secrets left, huh? I beg to differ. Looks like I'll have to undo a psych locks before if I want to get to the bottom of this. Steven Seagal is part of my favorite stand-up routine of all time. Tom Segura is completely normal when he talks about how Steven Seagal acts as a cop. Oh god. So like, those movies are fine, right? They're cheesy, they're fun, they're over the top. I probably like him more now than I used to. Him, like, in the same vein as, like, Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. But, like, they're not good. I don't know if we have everything yet. Let's go here first. Sub box? Hey, I don't know what that is, but have fun. Wow, this place is crawling with cops. Looks like we won't get any investigating done here now. Let's come back later. God damn it. I guess we gotta try to break his Cyclops right away?
Take that!
There's a really funny bit in Ted Lasso this season where this dude changes his name to Van Damme after, like, one of the, like, the star player that they get who, like, everybody kisses his ass and he just says dumb shit that's supposed to sound profound, but it really doesn't mean anything. At one point he's like, you can be whoever you want to be. And so he's like, they said, hey, what's up? He's like, his name's Zorro, I think, because the whole thing was like, he calls him Zorro, and he's like, oh, actually it's pronounced Zorro. And then that's when he was like, you can be whoever you want to be. That's his whole counter argument to I said your name wrong. And so from then on, Zorro is like, oh, I'm Van Damme now. You're like, wait, what? He said he could be anybody I want to be, and I want to be Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I thought that was like the perfect ridiculous action hero name to use in that situation. Chuck Norris wouldn't have worked as well. Steven Seagal wouldn't have worked as well. Not even like a Bruce Lee or a Jackie Chan. It had to be Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's basically Godot too, except he's actually good. He's a legitimately good player. So like, that's part of the reason he can do that and get away with it. People are like, whereas with Godot, it was always like, you were told that he was really good. Why is he really good? Oh, because he's never lost. Oh, he never lost? Well, yeah, he's never, you know, taken a case as a prosecutor. That dispelled everything right away. That was great. Yeah, well, I know him as playing Guile in Street Fighter, which was one of the most disappointing movies I've ever seen in my goddamn life. So, initially, I did not have a great opinion of Mr. Van Damme, although that was not his fault. Why you would have Jean-Claude Van Damme play Guile, specifically, like, the American hero? Like, his whole thing is he's a U.S. He's a military man in the U.S. with blonde hair, and you have a not American person play him? Hey, Seas of Cheese! Sup, Twain, donated a bunch in the past under my real name. First time catching the stream, new time slot. So excited to see you playing Dual Destinies. Enjoy. Thank you, Seas of Cheese. Wait, what's your real name? Who's donated under their real name before? Keith? Nathan? Shit. Who else? I know there's been more than that. Those are just the two most recent ones I can think of. He would. It wouldn't have made sense as him as Johnny Cage either. Johnny Cage is supposed to be this like California movie star. Jean-Claude Van Damme talks like this. It's like, dude, that's not. They don't get it. They don't fucking get it. Oh, Keith. Cheers to you, Keith. Welcome. Glad you can join us. Oh, I agree with that. Like, when I was seeing a Street Fighter movie, I thought I was going to see the story of Ryu. And it turned out Ryu and Ken were just side characters that were, like, basically comedy relief. So they then sculpted this story around the American hero, who wasn't American. He's a Belgian guy. Why? At least what's-his-fuck as Bison was amazing. Fuck, what's his name? The guy who played Gamez. The Addams Family. He died. He nailed it. Raul Julia. Yeah. That dude was fucking sick as Bison. At least, like, the antagonist was cool. That's what helped you get through the movie. The girl that played Chun-Li I thought was also pretty cool. I just thought that fight scene they had was cool in that, like, when he was, like, trying to hit on her. And they went at it. I thought that was a pretty cool scene. Of course. You guessed it. Try to take over the world. I want you to tell me everything you're hiding about the switching of the two launch pads. I refuse. You can't make me. I can hold out longer than anyone. I hope I never get like this when I'm old. It's inevitable. Now let's see where to start. This is how you explained your motive for switching the launch pad. You did it. It was to save his men, right? Thanks to you switching the launch pads, the astronaut escaped injury from the blast. Instead, they safely boarded the museum's rocket, far away from the actual explosion. My astronauts are ready to go out on an authentic adventure in space. How do you propose I had them board a fake rocket without them noticing? I agree you couldn't have done it without help. For one, they would have figured it out the instant they stepped into the space museum. You figured you could fool Mr. Starbuck once he'd been drugged with his medication, but without the help of this person, it would have been impossible to pull your plan off. The Pongo or her?
Take that!
I was hoping it'd be Pongo.
Take that!
Do we even have this person? If it... Oh!
Take that!
You must have gotten Mr. Terran to help you. He stole the tranquilizers from his mentor's locker and slipped them to him. And then, with Mr. Starbuck in a daze, they boarded the replica rocket in the museum. Someone brings up this prisoner at war. Of war. How was he able to spin around like that? That's fucking nuts. Hey! This channel is not accepting any Kristen Kirk slander, Mr. Retro. That movie sucked, but she is smoking hot. And was involved in one of the greatest film affairs of all time. I generally despise anybody, fictional or otherwise, that's in an affair. But we'd be lying to ourselves if we didn't acknowledge Scotty Doesn't Know with fucking Matt Damon as an absolute masterpiece. Kristen Crook isn't white though, is she? She might be like part white, but she's definitely not. Hold on, maybe I'm wrong. I actually don't know how to pronounce her last name. God, she's fine. Yeah, she's Chinese and Dutch. So that's not quite the whitewashing that I think you think it is, compared to some other roles. She's at least part Chinese. Like Chun-Li actually is. I mean, scusi. That scene is also hilarious. What a great movie. That was a movie that was never talked about, at least around like my friend circles, when it was released. And then I watched it later. I'm like, why didn't nobody talk about this? This movie is fucking hysterical. The look he gives them before they go into the tunnel is hysterically scary. All right, you guys obviously don't even know. You guys don't know what I'm talking about. So I'll wait. Just making sure I'm spelling Kristen right. It's what, this? Something like that. Just look that up. Google will fix it. When I got to college, yeah, like people were into it, but it came out in like 04, didn't it? Or 05? I was still in high school when it released. Well, yeah, that's John Wayne playing Genghis Khan, but Kristen Crook playing Chun-Li is not nearly as bad. Having Scarlett Johansson play What's-Her-Fuck, okay? That's whitewashing. Although, the one thing, I'm not saying this makes it right, but it is kind of strange how every culture does it. Like, and I don't think anybody complains. Like, you go to Japan, go watch the Attack on Titan movie. You know, a lot of those people are supposed to be, like, based on German descent. You see any Germans in that movie? Because I fucking don't. I get it, but still. If you really want to save the astronauts' lives, shouldn't you have just called off the launch? I could have done that. Do you think I would have gone to all that trouble? I guess he must have had a compelling reason why he couldn't call it off. But how did you know to switch the pads in advance of the bombing incident? Well, that's because I was warned in advance. Once I received that warning, it was my duty to ensure my astronaut's safety. But it was just a warning. Could have even been a prank, bro. Why'd you believe in it so completely? Because I went to one of those mediums that everyone's talking about these days. Oh? I didn't realize channeling was back in vogue. Was it ever in vogue? I guess with, Maya's mother, it was for the fucking police to have done it. Besides, I thought it was you yourself that got the warning via telephone. Yes, that's right. The bomber contacted me personally. My battleship is equipped with a special advanced communication system, you see. AKA a regular old telephone. It's been a while. Planning another launch, I see you haven't learned. I'll never forget the terror I felt when I received that call. The bomber said it's been a while. And that was enough to make you take the threat seriously? Perhaps Director Cosmos took the threat so seriously because the Space Center had been involved in a bombing once before? Maybe. The culprit in the current case is the same person who was involved in this incident. Matt Damon in Oceans is great. He's part of two of my like top 3 favorite moments from all those movies. One is when what's-his-face like introduced himself. He's like, oh yeah, you're what's-his-face's kid. He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, nice. Get in the goddamn house. He's like, just, I was like, oh man, I want to be that old guy when I'm older. Oh, holy shit. And then the Lost in Translation scene with Coltrane, Hagrid, who died recently, RIP, in Ocean's 12. he quote Led Zeppelin, and they looked at him like, oh. And apparently the lyrics translated into their language meant that his niece was a whore, a particularly dirty one, or some shit. Oh, God. Matt Damon. The HAT-1 miracle, that epic story of survival. People across the nation know it now as a heroic tale of bravery. It's a pretty diverse nation. Yeah. But it's not like these other numbers are gigantic. I also said it doesn't, not saying that it's wrong, but it's weird how, because I mean, it's whataboutism, right? Which is why I'm not using it as an argument as to it is wrong because they don't do this elsewhere. That's whataboutism. It's a bad argument. But it does have, bring up an interesting question of why. And that's probably the reason. But it's more so strange how, like, they can still find people. I mean, there are minorities that are a very small percentage of the U.S. population. People still complain about that. Like, you could find somebody that could do that. Yeah, I mean, you could. They could elsewhere, too, and they don't. Is that just how it is? It's like this weird balance of you don't want to give it to somebody who's not qualified. But like there's also the issue of part of the reason they see this like small group of actors the way it is because they're gatekeepers that artificially create that sort of situation where people who do deserve chances never get the chance. So again, it's not a super straightforward situation. In truth, it was an act of sabotage perpetrated by our current killer, wasn't it? But again, we're a cultural melting pot, but it's not like go look at the diversity of the United States. It's diverse compared to other countries, but those numbers still aren't very large. But yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. I'm just saying I have not seen either side of the argument like actually examine the nuances of the situation. If that makes any sense. Like when I see people shouting at each other about whitewashing and stuff, it's all very blunt and straightforward, and it like doesn't actually take like the other side's argument into consideration and actually try to counter that, which is obviously, as I've said many times, that's what makes a good lawyer, is that you're able to do that. And if you don't do that, a judge will look at you and say, your argument's shit. So I do it the same way. That's also true, Zeb. But that goes back to my gatekeeping thing though. Like, it is different. Is it artificially different, or is that legitimately just how it is? I don't know. The hell is girl bossing? I don't know what that is. Not gonna lie, it sounds hot, but I'm sure it's not what I think it is. Very few knew about the previous plot, so when the caller said, "It's been a while," you knew beyond a shadow of a doubt the danger was real and it wasn't a prank, bro. God, did anyone ever tell you to go easy on an ex-serviceman? Yes, the HAT-1 miracle was really a desperate battle against an active sabotage. I even lost the life of one of my staff members in the fight. Sabotage, murder, so this is the ugly truth behind the HAT-1 miracle. I let my guard down. I thought the saboteur had been caught, and that the case was closed. Huh? Wait a minute. The murder at the Space Center 7 years ago. This must be the person Director Cosmos thought was the culprit.
Take that!
I don't fucking know. What the hell are you talking about? Couldn't have thought it was Clay. I mean, you've been 16 years old. Oh, right. So he was convicted. So he must have thought that. Okay.
Take that!
Simon Blackwell, the murder suspect in a case that happened here 7 years ago. The place and time of the two incidents, the murder and the sabotage, were the same. So you thought he had committed both crimes. But while Prosecutor Blackwell was behind bars, you got another threatening call. If the culprit this time is the same as 7 years ago, then it isn't Simon Blackwell. Realizing that, you were shaken. It meant the true culprits had been running free all this time. Oh, how do you keep staying straight through me? The reason why Director Cosmos won't talk about why he switched the launch pads is connected to the truth behind the HAT-1 miracle. The sabotage and murder that happened at the Space Center 7 years ago. Director Cosmos, tell us what you're hiding. If you really want to understand the reason I decided to switch the launch pads, we'll have to start with the story of that horrible nightmare from 7 years ago. "7 years ago? You mean the so-called HAT-1 miracle? Can we stop calling it the so-called? Jesus, just say what it fucking is." Presenting a female character as strong and skilled without treating her as a person with depth. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Well, it depends. Are they just minor characters? Because, I mean, there have been characters like that of varying, you know, genders throughout the course of fiction. Now, if you mean that they're trying to simply present power as character, then yeah, that's a problem. Because you actually have to have, you know, there's simply having power or having authority doesn't create character. The launch went smoothly, but once the ship enters outer space, I should also say there are people that exist like that. They're in a position of power and have no depth as human beings. Launch went smoothly, but once the ship entered outer space, then the troubles began. It was all the handiwork of a certain person and their evil scheme. So Mr. Starbuck's traumatic experience wasn't accidental. Not only that, but before the launch, a very valuable piece of moon rock was stolen. But that wasn't the worst of it. One of my staff members was murdered.
Wow, I had no idea such awful events were behind that exciting story of space heroism.
Speaking of having no depth, it's a crime what they've done to Trucy in this game. Like, I feel like that line was put there because they're like, oh yeah, that's right, Trucy hasn't said anything in a while. You hate to see it. You really hate to see it. Well, Forever, where do I begin? Short answer is yes. Very much so. At least, like, I care about what's going on with Apollo, though. Trucy's just kind of there. Yeah, that's a good point too, Devin. All that in spite of the Space Center having very strict security in those days. All personal effects were examined thoroughly, coming or going. You couldn't even smuggle a withered old leaf through those checkpoints. That's odd that you mentioned that. So, do you have any clue as to who was responsible for the sabotage? At the very least, I know it wasn't Simon Blackwell. I don't know enough to identify the true culprit, but it's clear what that person is. To put it simply, a spy.
A spy? You mean someone who infiltrates a foreign country, carries out dangerous missions, and always gets the girl?
Someone's watching way too many late-night movies. Well, I guess if we're talking about blowing up a rocket and stealing research material, it's not all that surprising that a spy could be behind it all. Make no mistake. Yeah, James Bond might always get the girl, but he never keeps the girl. That dude obviously has relationship and commitment problems. Every fucking movie's got a new girl. Like, dude. Fix your shit, man. Make no mistake, there's cutthroat rivalry between nations in the space R&D race. Some try to outdo others by any means possible, even deliberate obstruction. 7 years ago, we got the call before the launch warning us of sabotage. Same MO as this time. Yes. And here I thought the perpetrator had been caught, but it looks like I was wrong.
Prosecutor Blackwell seems more like a ninja than a spy, don't you think?
Seems more like a samurai than a spy, but okay. Aren't ninjas and spies basically the same thing? But there's a good reason we failed to find the real spy. A massive cover-up by the government. Government officials were too embarrassed to admit that they had allowed such a thing to happen at the hands of a spy. Don't tell me they made the police rush the investigation. They did indeed, and then to cover up the sabotage, they cleaned up the story. And that was the HA-1T miracle, wasn't it? Then 7 years ago, the same MO. Advance warning of sabotage. That must have been the director's reason for switching the launch pads. It would be actually really hilarious if, like, after every movie, the girl ends up, like, just walks away. James Bond's like, what the hell? And they're just like, oh, I had no intention of sleeping with you. I just, you know, was grateful, but, you know, I'm gonna go on my way now. I'm not interested, but thanks. Every single time. Like, that's how, like, we think Zelda might be doing Link after every, iteration of Zelda and Link, right? Like, Link always saves the day, and then Zelda's just like, thanks, bye. Except for, Zelda 2. She at least kisses Link, so there was some amount of affection shown. Skyward Sword, they actually had more of a relationship. The only good things about that game. 7 years ago, the spy gave you advance warning of their plans, just like this time. This was what made you decide to switch the launch pads, wasn't it? Yeah, Breath of the Wild 2. Yep, you're right. And that one was interesting because, like, for the first time, they actually showed a relationship with Link and Zelda where, like, Zelda didn't like him at first. She just found him annoying as, like, a plant for her father, which was interesting. This was one of the more interesting parts of that game. Is that backstory. Got Ganyu in a random 10 pull? No. Don't pull the weapon banner. Take one of your bow, your blaze, like you have one of those, right? Like the ones where you can craft the weapons with it, and go get the prototype crescent. The prototype crescent is almost as good as the Amos bow without having to waste wishes on the weapon banner. And possibly not get it because the weapon banner can be such a scam. I used the prototype crescent on her for a long time before I finally got Yelan's bow that I use for her. I mean, it's unclear sometimes, but there are other times where it's very clear. Where the game will mention like hundreds of years or it's been thousands of years, and you're like, oh, okay. And it's never said like how they're related. Like, how did they become related? Like, there was a random convergence of their family and then another divergence? Like, I guess? Talking about thousands of years here. I suppose that could happen. Well, right, because they always keep the royal bloodline, right? Or whatever. Ken and Barbie. That movie actually looks kind of funny. I might watch it, like, get drunk and watch it one day. Even though I fucking can't stand what's-his-face. Ugh. I think he's one of the most overrated actors in Hollywood. But he actually seems like he might be kind of funny in this role. So I'll give him a chance. I always give you a chance. That's right. The caller knew the facts of the case 7 years ago despite the cover-up. Like, for example, Daniel Craig. Horribly overrated in my opinion, but I still gave him a chance and loved him in his ridiculously over-the-top role in Knives Out. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I will not share orange schnapps with you. You take all that orange schnapps and you enjoy it on your own, but thank you for the offer. I'll go get some peppermint or something. I don't know what the difference is between like the reincarnations or passing of Zelda and Link. I honestly don't know. I mean, if that's the case, then it's just random, right? I'm assuming to a certain extent. And Twilight Princess is the ironic one, because like that's the one where you're like, oh man, like you got the relationship with Midna now, like who cares about Zelda? But I love Twilight Princess Zelda. I think she's the prettiest Zelda, TBH. That brunette Zelda. You don't want things to go like they did 7 years ago, do you? I immediately thought of calling off the launch, but the government wouldn't let me. We don't give in to the likes of terrorists. We must proceed for our country's honor. I mean, that's really how most of the games, later games at least, played out though. Like even going back to A Link to the Past, the first part of the game, you think a dude named Aghanim is the real baddie, and it turns out, oh, he's just a wizard of Ganon. Yeah, Link's Awakening was a dream, and then he died, and I'm furious. Furious that fucking whale just left him out in the ocean to die after he helped cure it of its whatever. Or he was Ganon, sure. Yeah, you defeated him, and then he became the bat, and then the bat goes into the Pyramid of Power, and then it's Ganon. But I mean, like, that's the thing. Like, a type of swerve for the enemy is not... That's not new for Zelda games. Ocarina of Time is the same. The difference is that they basically like it's a different person, but it's still Ganon. It's just this is Ganondorf. He's an actual person. A Gerudo or Gerudo, depending on however you fucking pronounce that. And it's like, dude, that's fucking Ganon, or he's gonna become Ganon. One of the two. He has Ganon's soul. Some shit. Link's Awakening is the same Link from A Link to the Past. It's a direct sequel. It's not clear whether or not he is then the same Link from the Oracles. I hope so. I hope you're right. Because then that means he survived. But... Oh. But you go so hot and Ganon is not. I really want to play Link Between Worlds on this channel, but I cannot. Because I don't have a 3DS that can capture it. And the emulators that I've tried do not do such a great job. Imagine Ganon as a hot chick. Well, I mean, just imagine the Gerudo women. I mean, he's like them, except he's got a weird skin color for some reason. Like, they're not green. It was quite a moving speech, actually. Moving? Really? Maybe if you're really easily inspired by political talking points. But I knew the truth. We had been warned, which means the danger was very real. I knew there was no way to stop the spy. No matter what I did, they would find a way. That's why I switched to launch pads and staged the moving rescue scene. First, I snuck into the center the night before and switched to launch pads. That way, the astronauts would go from boarding lounge 1 to the Space Museum. Then I put the closed for repairs sign at the door to launch 1 in boarding lounge 2. You did that so normal visitors wouldn't enter, right? What else did you do? Why didn't you just not let anybody come in on the day of the launch, given that you were launching a fucking rocket and they shouldn't be there anyways? I listened to the help of several staff members, including Terran. But you didn't let Mr. Starbuck in on it? You'd already been through enough, and he's no good at lying to keep a secret. I'm afraid I had no choice but to have...
Jesus fucking, are you kidding me?
Saying he's afraid he has no choice is the same as saying he didn't have a choice. Saying I'm afraid doesn't say, oh, but I thought I had no choice. It means I had no choice. Just like when the Emperor in Star Wars goes, I'm afraid the shield generator will be quite operational when your friends arrive. He's not saying, oh, I believe it'll happen. But, you know, that was my personal belief. It was, it's going to happen. Ugh. Fucking... I'm afraid I had no choice but to have him drugged. My plan went well until...
Clay's murder, huh?
After the culprit made their escape, I switched the launch pads back. I did it in such a way that no one would find out, but after all that effort, Terran is dead, and the HAT-2 is destroyed. And the Hope Ground capsule, which had returned to us only recently, was also lost in that blast. My home, the center of the cosmos, my beautiful Cosmos Space Center is done for. Wait, what do you mean by the Hope capsule was lost in that blast? I mean, that's what I mean. I'm afraid doesn't actually mean anything. Or like, it would be akin to saying something like, I hate to say it, but... And you're still saying the same thing. You're just prefacing it with, I'm sorry that I have to say this. I thought that the Hope capsule was found at the crime scene with Mr. Terran. I had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with... It had just been brought back by the Hope space probe with asteroid samples inside. The capsule was being held in a safe in Launchpad 1. But I gave it to Darren before the incident so it wouldn't be destroyed in the explosion. The idea was that, with it safely in Terran's possession, he could make it look like he had rescued it from the stage of miraculous escape. But our precious research materials ended up lost to that explosion anyway.
I thought Clay was supposed to keep it safe.
You misunderstand. The launchpad explosion wasn't the one the capsule was lost to. It was lost after the police confiscated it as evidence. It was the courtroom bombing from the other day. The capsule was there in the courtroom as evidence. It was blown to smithereens. Yet another casualty of that blast. Ultimately, I think the culprit may have known about the switching of the launch pads. What? How? The police found a wiretapping device during their investigations today. All the culprit had to do was look at it from like a mile away, and they would have seen it move. A bug aboard my battleship. A tap on my advanced communication system. A wire on that phone? Yes, a wire on this very phone. I use this phone to give instructions to my staff about the launchpad switch. Just to the few select members who knew about the plan. Just before the incident, staff members were coming in and out of Launchpad 1. The culprit probably slipped in with them amid the confusion and planted the bomb then. Yes, if they were tapping your phone, they definitely could pull something like that off. Do you really think the same spy is behind the incident as the one 7 years ago? Yes, I'm sure of it. This gray man. Then, this gray man spy must be the phantom Prosecutor Blackwell has been chasing. The ultimate murder in all of the Danganronpa games.
So if we can find this phantom...
That's right, we can clear Athena's name. And then there's the matter of Prosecutor Blackwell, too.
What about him?
Well, if the culprit of 7 years ago is the same person as in the current incident, it would mean Prosecutor Blackwell's is innocent. That's still an if, though.
I wonder how dangerous that guy would be in court without handcuffs.
Well, I mean, if he hasn't killed anybody, then not fatally dangerous, at least.
But if we're going on a ghost hunt, count me in.
It's all over for me. It's been very, very done for. The center of the cosmos is doomed.
You think he's gonna be alright, Daddy?
No, dear. No, he won't. Well, at least he'll be in good company in jail. There must be planets out there where he can spin with. Which reminds me, I'd like to delve a little deeper into that HAT-1 mission, too. You want to learn more? Start at the Space Museum, and there's an HAT-1 exhibit there! Oh, that's why me, I'll just keep spinning and see, oh, this cosmos is full.
It's like he achieved spiritual enlightenment or something.
I'm sure he'll stop when he gets dizzy. How is he not already dizzy? Let's go to the Space Museum. Oh my god.
Let's see. Where's the exhibit on the launch 7 years ago?
The only one in the building. There, that's the HAT-1 exhibit.
Oh wow, look at that photo of the team.
There's Clay and Mr. Starbuck, Director Cosmos, Aqua Blackwell, and even Ponko. But I've never seen the woman on the right before.
Everybody looks so happy, well, except for Director Cosmos.
I mean, he looks pretty pleased, at least. Check out the newspaper article, too. HAT-1 launch imminent, and there's a photo of the Hope space probe. I guess it's only natural it doesn't talk about the murder or the sabotage.
They really were keeping it a secret, just like the director said. Daddy, take a look at that jacket.
Must be the HAT-1 team's uniform jacket. The same design as the one Apollo was wearing, the one that belonged to Clay.
Actual jacket worn by an HAT-1 team member, it says.
Not a replica, huh? I wonder if it was Mr. Starbucks. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, Miss Woods. What brings you here?
I heard Athena got arrested, so I've been looking for you, Mr. Wright. I thought you might be here at this scene.
You must be so worried, but rest assured, I'm gonna do my very best to defend her.
Athena's going through such a hard time. I hope she doesn't lose heart. Even just coming back to this place must have been really difficult for her.
Huh? You mean the Cosmos Space Center?
What, you didn't know? She used to live here when she was a little girl.
Why wouldn't have anyone had told us this before? Should have been his exact reaction. Miss Woods, can you tell me more in detail?
Athena's mom worked here.
Oh, that's who that other woman was.
If I remember right, she was a doctor of psychology or something like that.
Why was a psychology specialist working at a space research facility?
I don't really know.
Study the effects on psychology of human beings in space, maybe? Doesn't seem that out of the ordinary. I think astronauts would definitely need therapy, too.
But I do know that she lived and worked here, so Athena lived here too.
So it's far from Athena's first time here. I wonder why she didn't mention it.
She probably didn't want to talk about it. That's, this place is connected to a very sad memory for her. When her mom died. Obviously.
A sad memory? Can you tell me about it?
There was a terrible incident here. It was 7 years ago.
Same time frame as the HAT-1 launch.
Athena's mom, in the robotics lab, she was murdered.
What?
After it happened, Athena stopped coming to school.
Poor Athena. In all this time, she never let on at all. Well, I think she kind of let on. You just didn't know.
I was so worried about her. I came here so many times hoping to see her. But I never saw her again.
Well, until I did.
After a while, we started exchanging letters. But I didn't get to see her face to face for 7 long years.
So the first time you'd seen her in 7 years was during Professor Court's case?
That's right, and I was so surprised. She was like a completely different person, so cheerful and happy.
What was Athena like as a child?
She was very sensitive and kind. She didn't talk very much. She liked to draw and paint at home. And then she became kind of loud and obnoxious. Now, honestly, she's not as fun as she used to be, but I'm still her friend. I'm not gonna let that ruin our friendship. That's completely different from the Athena we know now. I can't even picture it. She never left the Space Center much because she was very sensitive to other people's emotions. When she went to crowded places, she'd get dizzy from all the emotions flying around.
Must be hard to hear people's hearts as well as their voices.
She always wore these big, heavy-looking headphones. She said her mother made them for her as part of her research.
I wonder what kind of research it was. Obviously, research into the fact that her daughter is a goddamn empath.
Because of her special ability, Athena couldn't handle being in school very often. And I was always out sick because of my weak constitution. Maybe that's why we became such good friends.
Because we never saw each other or school. Like, what?
We used to play together here at the Space Center a lot. It brings back memories. Sounds like Athena's mother played a big role here at the Space Center. Oh, Daddy, show her that picture.
Atta girl, good idea. So how did she suddenly, like, adapt, even though she couldn't adapt before? Because she didn't have the headphones on, she just was suddenly able to deal with it? Picture, picture, picture. What picture? What is she talking about? Oh, this picture. This was, could you take a look at this for me?
Oh, look, there's Athena's mom. The woman on the far right, the one in the kimono. That's Dr. Matus Sykes.
Athena's mother's murder. Did it by any chance have any connection to the HAT-1 launch?
What? Why, yes, it did. As I recall, it happened on the day before the launch.
Just as I suspected. So this is the murder director Cosmos was talking about. Does that mean that the crime prosecutor Blackwell is convicted of is the murder of Athena's mother? There's a chance her death is somehow connected to the current case. And Athena never fucking mentioned that to anyone that, hey, the prosecutor we're up against is the person that I think might have killed my mom, or at least is convicted of it.
There is?
Thank you for all your help, Miss Woods, and please, try not to worry. Don't let anything happen to Athena.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. I know you'll take good care of her. So we need to investigate the robotics lab and also talk to Athena. We got our plates full, Daddy. I hope we can fit it all in before the day's through.
Detention center first, then. We have to see Athena before visiting hours are over. Okay, just fucking send me there then. Thanks, game. Well, if it isn't Mr. Lawyer. Fancy meeting you here. Oh, hello, Detective Fulbright. You're on business? To tell you the truth, I'm here to sniff the coke off my fingers. I'm here to interview Ted Tonate. The one behind the courtroom bombing incident? He suddenly said he's ready to tell the truth about that case. And what he was saying was so incredible I just had to come right over here to hear more.
incredible. What was he saying?
Why don't you hang around and hear it for yourself? Really? Us? Are you sure? Ha ha ha! I give you my special permission. Here comes the bomber now. You. What nerve? You're here to laugh at me, I suppose. Like I'd waste my breath on you. After all, you're the one who assaulted Apollo and put him in the hospital. Violence, no. Question, okay. No violence? Too bad Apollo didn't get a chance to say that before you attacked him. Fine, just answer me this, Mr. Tonate. What is the truth of yours about the courtroom you blew up? No, I didn't do it. I didn't blow up the courtroom. When I killed Detective Arm, there was another person in the room.
What are you talking about? Who else could have been there?
I saw it, I tell you. I saw someone's hand as they were stealing the remote switch. This person was there and witnessed the murder I committed. What? I don't know who it was, but that's who blew up the courtroom.
You expect us to buy that?
Easy there, Trucy. I don't see any psych locks, so I guess he must not be lying.
Daddy, you always talk about these psych locks. What the fuck are you talking about?
Pardon me, I got a little carried away. I'm telling you the truth. I did not detonate that bomb. And there you have it. We can't exactly ignore his claims, of course, so we're doing a follow-up. We're even analyzing the bomb itself, or what's left of it. We haven't found any new facts yet, though. Wow, they've laid it all out, piece by piece. Oh, look at all those beautiful little pieces. I wish I could have them. Uh-oh. Looks like his geek switch has been activated. Yeah, if you call it a geek switch, I call it something else. Well, I hope you're ready for Prosecutor Blackwell's special brand of questioning. Anything but that. I'm afraid I have to be off now, too. Wow, people are afraid to say a lot of things. I was just about to question Miss Sykes.
You're going to see Athena now?
I know this is game 4, or 5, excuse me, and we're probably, you know, way past this at this point, and we know how it happens and goes down, but I'm just going to throw this out there and attempt to say you can't question my client without me being present. Is that something we can accomplish here? That's right. Oh, did you folks come to see her? Sorry for the trouble, but could you come back later? God knows you can't see her at the same time as I do. God damn it. Off I go. What bad timing. Looks like we'll have to wait until after her questioning is over to see her. Ooh, wow. It just hit me all of a sudden.
And after we came all this way, too. Well, I guess it's back to the Space Center. Let's go check out the robotics lab, Daddy.
Alright, sounds like a plan. Well, that's menacing. Judge Tron.
So this is the robotics lab, huh? Looks like it's exactly one floor above the boarding lounge.
And where people were directed to evacuate from via the emergency ladder. This is where Athena's mother was killed 7 years ago. Speaking of someone who works with robots.
Daddy, look over there!
So they plan to use this bag to carry the capsule, is that right? Yeah, more or less. Say, why don't we stop talking about the case and have a nice cup of tea instead? Hey, Apollo dog, I mean, I might be jumping the gun here, but she might want you, dog. I'm just saying. Ain't no reason not to have a cup of tea with her. Apollo and Aura Blackwell? I wonder what they're talking about.
Well, well, come to spoil our fun. Just when I was enjoying our time alone.
Trucy and Mr. Wright. You're more surprised to see me than Trucy?
If it's Apollo you want, you can't have him. He said he's investigating on his own.
And I respect his wishes. We just came to investigate this lab.
Well, this is my lab, so you'll need my permission if you want to do any snooping.
So she likes to have her hand up orifices, huh?
I heard about the trial. You made mincemeat out of the director. And suddenly Starbuck was out and your little subordinate, the princess, was in. Case closed, and they all lived happily ever after. Ha 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 ha. God, Daddy, say something to her. I suppose you're going to defend the princess in court, am I right?
The princess, huh? Guess she's talking about Athena. Of course! Athena is innocent.
Oh my, such loyalty and trust. She seems pretty suspicious to me, though. Emotionally unstable princess. There's your culprit for you, don't you agree, Apollo?
I don't know yet.
Apollo, how could you? What's wrong with saying I don't know if it's true? It's a very scientific approach. Your subordinate is more level-headed than you, or should I say, former subordinate.
Can't believe it. Does Apollo really suspect Athena?
Whew, all this laughing has worn me out. Your turn to say something, hunk of junk. Mr. Terran, you look pale. Shall I help you to the sick bay?
Mr. Terran? But that's Apollo you're talking to.
Oh, this hunk of junk here is mistaking Apollo for Clay. Maybe Apollo is possessed by Clay's ghost. Mr. Terran, how are you, Mr. Terran? Mr. Terran, how injury terror.
I guess Clay intends to hang around to haunt the princess that... I guess Clay intends to hang around to haunt the princess that murdered him.
Oh, and to haunt the lawyer that defends her too, of course.
A robot that can see ghosts? Yeah, right, and I'm a spirit medium. Sorry, but apparently scientists just don't tell very frightening ghost stories. I intend to defend Athena, no matter what you have to say about it.
How perfectly foolish!
Alright, have a good night, Acme. Thank you for the raid.
Nice. What type of foolish fool are you? That kind of blind belief makes people lose sight of the truth. Just like 7 years ago.
I know she's probably like evil, but I still kind of want to... What's a non-crude way of saying I'd like to fuck her?
Make the whoopee.
Oh yeah, there you go. I'd like that. I'd like to have her cup of tea. Oh. Could you tell me about the incident 7 years ago?
Why? Do you enjoy trampling on people's feelings and rubbing salt in their wounds? Or do you just want me to talk? In that case, what should I ask for in return? I'd like to hear about that incident too. It helped me understand the current case better. Ah, Apollo knows about that case too. Well, if you're the one who's asking, Apollo, come on, hunk of junk, you tell the story. But, Miss Aura, that's private information! If you don't talk, I'll just have to make you talk. God! Yes, who cares about personal privacy? Not me! I'm ready to utilize my blast processing abilities to impart all available information! Wow, what a magic trick! He's like a completely different robot now. The bodies of all the robots that come through this lab are designed by Miss Aura! I was born 7 years ago. Miss Aura was much, much younger then. Yikes, better watch what you say if you don't want to get recycled, Clonko. And then our hearts were created by that great genius, Dr. Menace Sykes. Hearts? Robots with hearts? Can you even make such a thing? Emotions are not irrational things. Our logic and our hearts can be integrated. But the two navigation companions created by Miss Aura and Dr. Menace transcend humans. Stop pressing that button, you moron. Ah! Menace. Oh, she just glanced over at her desk. Nobody could continue Menace's research. Her and her work were truly one of a kind. And now the two navigation companions are all that are left of Menace here on Earth. The robots are all that's left? Isn't she leaving out a very important someone? Yeah, I was gonna say her fucking daughter? Jesus. Blissful coitus. I would like to engage in blissful coitus with her. It's not for the intents of procreation though. I would definitely plan on wearing protection. Or pulling out, it just depends on how we go from point A to point B. Because who knows, am I right? Ah, we built the ultimate creations together, but now she's gone. I get the feeling Dr. Sykes loved her robots almost as much as she loved her daughter. And almost as much as she loved you. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. But you lost someone too, didn't you, Apollo? Your friend, Clay. I guess you and I are pretty much in the same boat. Miss Aura, would you like a tissue? Keep your traps shut, hunk of junk. Nah, see, that one's too scientific. It makes me think of biology. It makes me think of how much I suck at biology. And then I don't want to have sex anymore. So we gotta avoid the covalent bond reference. Even if it is apt. Biology. Clonko's an important keepsake of your time with Dr. Sykes. You should treat him better. What does it matter? He doesn't feel pain, and I can always repair his body. Besides, their hearts aren't actually in their bodies. What do you mean by that? The program Menace wrote runs on a separate mainframe. Their bodies are controlled remotely from there. Their hearts and memories are there too. These bodies are really just peripherals. So I can do anything I want to them.
I'm not so sure that gives you the right to physically abuse the poor things.
But why are you people looking into such an old case now, anyway?
Well, we believe the culprit of that incident might be the same person as in this case.
So Daddy's gonna find out who killed Dr. Sykes, too. I'm sure you're aware of who Metis's killer is.
Yes, Professor... All the way to case 5. It never stopped. Should I know what a bia is? I know bia because I'm a man of culture who remembers the old Howard Dean sketch. Yeah! But I guess that's more of a B-Y-A-H than a B-Y-E-A-H. Yes, Prosecutor Blackwell, or so it seems.
That's a quaint way of putting it. Are you implying you don't think he did it?
I can't say anything for sure right now. That's exactly why I'd like to hear your side of it, to help me be sure.
I was the one who introduced Simon to Metis, you know. He wanted to learn psychology, he said, to give himself an edge in court.
Ah, Prosecutor Blackwell's forte, his infamous power of suggestion technique.
Exactly, and he was oddly serious about it. Rather than a teacher-student relationship, he treated her more like how a loyal samurai would treat his sovereign.
Huh? He seems more like a lost soul than a dignified samurai to me. Well, that's what happens when they lose their sovereign, Phoenix. They become Ronin, and then they are lost souls. God.
Doesn't he even know? He got along well with that miserable little prince. He even got along well with that miserable little princess. Why do you call Athena the princess anyways? Fuck. Well, she is Metis's daughter after all, although she's nothing like her. Besides, doesn't the selfish little princess always have lots of white knights hanging around?
Now I think I see why Athena didn't say anything when we ran into Aura yesterday. It all makes sense now.
So the culprit behind the two cases could be the same, huh? That settles it, then.
What does it settle?
None of your business. Just forget you heard anything. How long are you people going to hang around in here anyway? What? Well, we came here to take a look around. You think you could just waltz in and ransack a person's lab? Show me a search warrant.
Yikes. Oh! She obviously doesn't know the rules of RPGs, does she? We're not the police, so we don't have one. You don't... Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Then get out. Now, Clonko, show them out. Certainly, Miss Aura. Ouch, don't push. My apologies, I'm just following orders. Arr. Ah!
Yeah, why couldn't she show us out aggressively? Fucking robot. A professor counter? I am curious to see how many times I did it. Thank you, Diego. Diego's always here to make sure that we don't have to go through 20 minutes of fucking backtracking as game crashes. I don't know. I think it's just because of the name. Because I think of Blackwell. And I think Professor Blackwell, not Prosecutor Blackwell. What a way to get shown out.
The nerve of that woman! What's with that horrible attitude?
Guess that's just how she is.
Why was Apollo going along with her?
I guess it's because they have something in common. Apollo lost Clay, just like how Aura lost Dr. Sykes.
I'm really worried about him. He's not himself at all. He's usually he's not all cool and dark and mysterious like that.
I guess that's true. Does she mean he's usually silly and dorky?
I'm gonna keep an eye on him.
Hey, wait, Trucy, come back! God damn it, she's gone. What should I do now? Detective Fulbright's probably still questioning Athena. Guess I'll go back to the office alone. You could go after her. She left and he's just like, oh, well, she's gone. Laziest fucking father ever. Yo, what's up, culture? Well, here I am. This office has never felt so empty. Guess I haven't been here at the office all by myself in a long time. A long time. When I first became a lawyer, my mentor was here with me. And after that, there was always someone by my side. Now I'm getting all sentimental. I must be tired. Huh? There's something on the floor. What's a letter doing here?
Hey, Nick, it's been a while, huh? Miss me?
I know this handwriting.
I read somewhere that you were holding a trial in the middle of an exploding courtroom. That must have been really something, although weird is par for the course with you.
I think she or whatever paper she's reading is a little off on the details.
I'd love to come visit, but I'm right in the middle of a difficult part in my training. So instead, think of me as you watch those Steel Samurai videos I sent. I'm sure they'll cheer you right up. And I also drew a picture of you for yourself, for some reason. Yours truly, Maya Fey.
Good old Maya. It's as if she knew I was feeling down and needed a lift. Maya was my assistant for quite a while. Believe it or not, but she's a spirit medium. I know, this is the 5th game, but I need to recap all this. I know why they're doing it. It's annoying. It's the 5th fucking game. If this is your first game, you made a mistake. Go back and play the first game. This is Magatama I used on Cyclops. Maya's the one who gave it to me. But I wonder how this letter got here. Probably, through fucking postage. The postal service is how letters generally get from one place to another.
But it also could be because of Mr. Nick.
Ah! Eh! Oh, it's you, Pearls.
How have you been, Mr. Nick?
This is... I know. It's because we played the DLC after the fact. But the DLC also did this. Oh, Devin must not be aware that some doors have mail slots, I guess. Weird. Yeah, his, do we know whether it's an interior door? We don't know that at all. We don't know what the outside of the door looks like in 1-2? I don't remember the lobby at all, to be completely honest. Even if that's the case, so our office is an interior office and an interior door. Guess what? Our mail doesn't get dropped off in the lobby of our office building and then left. That's not how that works. They still come to our office. So it being an interior door doesn't really preclude that from being the case. I don't remember anything of that. I remember the court lobby. This is Pearl Faye, though I call her Pearls. She is Maya's cousin, who's also a spirit medium. A very talented one at that. I've known her since she was 8 years old. But Apollo and Athena only met her a few months ago. You didn't come all this way just to bring me a letter, did you?
I apologize for barging in. The door was unlocked, which is really weird for a law firm. But I can't believe there was a big explosion here. Your office doesn't look anything different.
She's even further off on the details than Maya. Wish I could take you out to eat for something, Pearls, if there's a lot going on.
Oh, I knew that! I didn't come here for a social visit, you know, Mr. Nick. Did you read the postscript on the letter?
Huh? There's more? Oh yeah, here it is. Right below where she signed. P.S.
I bet you've been too busy to clean or take care of the office, so Pearlie said she would come help you. Isn't she sweet? You'd better thank her.
Oh, so that's what you're doing here. That's awfully nice of you, Pearls. Maya and Pearls, thanks to these two, I'm starting to feel a little better. Thank you, girls.
Now that I'm here, I'm gonna whip this place into shape. You just concentrate on your work and don't mind me at all.
I'll need to talk to Prosecutor Blackwell if I want to learn more about this case. The trial's still going on, they must be holding him down at the detention center.
I don't know what the fuck you should do. I don't know anything about the current case.
It is being very casual. Like, oh, they just met her a couple months ago. And you're just like, why didn't we see that? I feel like that's an event that would have been worth putting into the video game. Very much so. So yes, thank you for having me play the DLC case first, because that would have been really annoying. Playing this game and then that happened, you're like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't think that's something we wouldn't have liked to see? It's not. So it's not that weird to me. It's weird insofar as she shouldn't, right? And that's like probably not great for her development. But it's not weird to me in that if you've met very isolated, sheltered children like that, you won't be surprised to see that some of them develop emotionally slower than the average kid. All right, later, Tara. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging. Why even add the line specifies that she met Apollo and Athena. Like that, you don't even have to necessarily specify that. you could just say that the last time I saw her was a couple months ago. And then let your imagination, like, deal with that itself, as opposed to explicitly stating they met her a couple months ago, as though it were an event that was specifically worth stating. In which case, why did we not see that event? That's a problem. Obviously, 4'6", she's still a fucking, what's the correct terminology these days? Little person? 4'6" is a 15-year-old is still really small. That makes sense after the fact, yes. Although, most of the time the DLC is just included. At the time of release, though, it's weird. And, like, at best, it's a really sketchy way to be like, oh, buy our DLC then. Coulter. Yeah, that's... I mean, you're no Twain, but that's pretty good. Oh. Right, the DLC was released after that, so at best, it's a super sketch way to sell DLC by making you annoyed within the story itself. Like, just fucking don't say shit like that just for the sake of trying to sell me something later. Fucking ugh. I mean, I'm not that much taller than you. I mean, your growth spurt might be later than mine. You might grow to be taller than me. You still got another 4 inches to go. But after I got out of high school, I think I only grew another 3 inches. Or 2 inches. Yeah, I think I was like 6'2" when I got into high school. And then I ended at 6'4". Yeah, so I didn't really grow that much after high school. Some people grow a lot in high school. I wish you luck. Who knew that would be something that would come back to bite me in the ass? It's not great to step on cats when you're big, because it comes down with a little more force. Oh, that's interesting. So if I see somebody with a fro, I wonder how the afro affects my perception of whether they are taller or shorter. I was like, hair can do that, right? See, I like that one, CJ. That was good. That was good. That double entendre there. Oh, look who's here. I wonder what they're talking about. All this time you haven't said a word. It's even turning your hair gray. Wait, all this time and it's turning your... And you haven't said a word. Wait, what? All this time and you haven't said a word. It's even turning your hair gray. I don't have anything to say, Aura. Why don't you get home and play with your dolls? Prosecutor Blackwell. Well, even if you don't, I have plenty, you jerk. Miss Blackwell, don't you think that's enough for today? Enough for today? Today is all there is when there's no tomorrow. Well, there's no tomorrow? What is she talking about? We have company, Aura. Please try to calm down. Alright, fine. I see you're just not going to listen no matter what I say.
I've had it. If that's the way you're going to be, I have another plan up my sleeve. Hope you're happy, Simon, because I'm done. Do as you please. See if I care. Wow, I could cut the tension with a katana.
Right, now. It looks like Fulbright saved your case in court this morning.
What? Whose look is this? Whose look is this? It's like Maya's look. I can't do it. Yeah, probably true. That is not the face he made. She's making no maidens right now. No. yeah, that like half smile of, or like side smile of Edgeworth's. What? Oh, yeah, he did. He bounced back to business quick. Prosecutor Blackwell, forgive me, but it was just the thing. It was the just thing to do. I thought he said just the thing to do. Like, it is the thing. It is a thing that was done. Prosecutor Blackwell, forgive me, but it was the just thing to do. Well, as a result, Sykes Downey was arrested. Is that just the just thing to do? Mr. Lawyer, I'm sorry, but it was evidence. What else could I do? Don't worry about it. I plan to defend her and prove her innocence. And then I'll wring your neck. I wouldn't take things so lightly if I were you right now. This is blade-proof glass, right? He looks 100,000% more menacing in his straight profile, as opposed to like when he's angled. I don't know what it is, but I almost wish he was presented like this initially somehow. Yo, what's up, Easy? I don't know what it is. Prosecutor Blackwell, we're looking into the case from 7 years ago. You're looking for somebody you call the Phantom of 7 years past, aren't you? You villain! Where'd you hear about that? This glass is absolutely, positively blade-proof, right? No, it wasn't me. I didn't say a single... oops! Ouch. At least it wasn't my fault. Could you tell me who this Phantom is? And also, you didn't really kill Dr. Sykes, did you? God, the guess is leaving. Prosecutor Blackwell, please listen to me. The culprit in the current case might be the same as the one in case 7 years ago. If you would cooperate, we could probably solve both cases. I suppose I could talk. The one who killed my mentor was, without question, me. I stole Sykes Dono's mother away from her. I destroyed her life. Prosecutor Blackwell. God, where are you? Stop dragging your feet, I tell you. There he goes. No! We've upset Prosecutor Blackwell. Now what are we going to do, Mr. Lawyer? There isn't much we can do. I don't know, that's a you problem. Detective Fulbright, do you mind if I ask you just a little more about that old case? You know, since you're gonna die anyway? Well, I guess it won't make any difference now. What would you like to know? Yeah, Edgeworth, not at all the same, same effect. Do you know anything about the trial that got him convicted?
A little. The police called the incident the UR1 incident. Always 2 letters and a number. Prosecutor Blackwell is charged with murdering his psychology mentor. Kind of like if your red Mr. Lawyer were to kill you. That's an unnecessary analogy. There were 2 decisive pieces of evidence, so a verdict was reached very quickly. Oh! I wonder, we don't know, and I bet we won't figure it out. They won't tell us for sure. But I wonder if the judge that allegedly never gets anything wrong was the person presiding over this trial. I wonder. Two pieces of decisive evidence. Guilty, guilty, guilty. 2 pieces of evidence, huh? What were they? Let's see. The first was some security camera footage. He was the only one who used the corridor to the murder scene at the time of the crime. The only one, huh? That does sound pretty decisive. Could you show me that footage? Oh, sorry, I don't have it with me right now. This tape that you're seeing in the box to my left, my right to your left is actually just, it's figurative. It exists somewhere, but not in my hand currently right now. I guess I'll have to see it some other time. And what was the second piece of evidence? Did they? I don't remember seeing anything like that. This one's even more incriminating. A photo of the moment of the crime. That's not the moment of the crime. He's not literally stabbing her. So it can't be the moment of the... Okay. See, there he is at the crime scene, holding a bloody katana. That's still not the moment of the crime. It was the victims kept on display in the room. She had a thing for Japanese culture. Wow. It'd be hard to explain this one away. But who took this picture, detective? The incident happened the day before the HAT-1 launch. A reporter who had came to do a story on the launch was in the room across from the lab. This just happened to show up in one of the pictures he took. Prosecutor Blackwell's attitude earlier was so odd. He's definitely hiding something. Prosecutor Blackwell said he was hunting a phantom from 7 years ago, didn't he? Yes, and I imagine it's getting more and more urgent as his execution date approaches. What'd you just say? Execution date? What, did I say something? Never mind me, you didn't hear a thing. This should be public information. It's not something he would need to hide. So he was given the death sentence? Yes, he told me not to tell you people, actually, even though, again, this would be publicly available information. All I would have to do is look at Wisconsin Circuit Course Case Access. I type in somebody's name, and it shows me all their criminal history, including what happened in each one of the hearings that they appeared at, all filings, everything. This is not private information. Be a suspicious case. I mean, I'm all about a case involving steak sauce, to be honest. I'm a pleb. I love A1. Not for like, if it's really good steak, I don't have any anything. I just eat the meat. But like for if I make a steak, because I'm not making top tier steak, A1 is fantastic. Over like Worcester. I have no idea how that word is supposed to be properly pronounced. Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Oh, God. A1 us among Gus. Even if the steak is good, A1 makes it better. So I'm not going to tell you not to use A1 on really good steak, but what I will say is that the problem with this is the case with any sauce. Any sauce. It doesn't matter what sauce it is. If the meat is really, really good on its own, the sauce is simply going to mask the taste of the meat. And that's not like the point of eating all steak. Because if the point is to just taste A1, then it doesn't really matter what the quality of your steak is as long as you can, it's chewable and you can eat it. Like that's how that works. When you get like, for example, we 2 months late, but we had our my celebration dinner this past weekend. For my new job. At the same place that we went to celebrate after I graduated. That was the last time we had been there. And it's a steakhouse. And like that steak, if I put a bunch of sauce on it, I'm like overpowering the taste of the meat. And I don't want that for that type of steak. Just because it's public to see doesn't mean most people would bother to. Yeah, but this is let's take a step back. First of all, attorneys aren't most people when it comes to criminal records and all that. Even in non-criminal cases, people are probably looking up criminal records of the people involved. So that's not a good excuse. If it were you, it like just kind of randomly, sure, you might not know, but we're not talking about the average person, so we can't pretend as though, it's reasonable that Phoenix never thought to look up the history of that case. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I mean, yeah, marinating meat is, that's different because you're like combining the taste, right? Oh yeah, not onions all the time, but I definitely go mushrooms all the time. That's my favorite thing to do with mushrooms is cook them and put them on top of steak. Onions, it depends on the steak. Like for ribeyes, I won't do that. The pepper is good to add to anything, in my opinion. If you have to add too much salt, that's when the steak is like, you might as well just douse it in A1 then. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, Coulter. I think A1 tastes great. If I'm having a good steak, I want to enjoy the steak, not the sauce. But again, if I'm making one at home, you better believe that shit's getting doused with A1 because my steak is not going to be all that good. I also put A1 on burgers sometimes. Hey, yeah, Coulter, you're a burger person. I've seen them. You've posted your results. Try putting A1 on a burger sometime. It's really good. I actually prefer A1 on burgers as opposed to ketchup and mustard. Not that ketchup and mustard isn't good, but A1 sauce on burgers is like a stealth buff. Barbecue sauce also works well, but I will caution, you really have to be careful about, because there's a lot of different barbecue sauces and people have very different tastes in barbecue sauce, like what type of barbecue sauces they like. Certain sauces won't work as well. And some sauces will work really well. I never use sauce with fries. They are drier, but I like the taste of that. I mean, I've complained about ketchup on here before. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of ketchup. It's fine, but I don't want a lot of it. But fries I eat plain. I love them so much. Don't want anything else on them, except for a little bit of salt. Now, curry ketchup. I've never had curry ketchup before. That sounds very interesting. Yeah, it should work with an Impossible Burger too. As long as it's a burger, A1 should work. But I guess there's no sense hiding it anymore. His execution date is tomorrow. Wow! No. Also, like, if there's an so like, there are places with the death sentence in, there are places with the death sentence in the US. Generally, when it's actually, first of all, there's a lot of people on death row that are on death row for a long time. They don't get put to, like, oh, you're found guilty last month, time to kill you now. Like, that's not generally how it happens because they go through appeals. Because if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna definitely fucking try to appeal first, right? So it usually takes a while. So when it gets to the execution date, in a lot of places that have the death sentence, it's kind of a big deal. Like, news will generally cover it. Because in a lot of circumstances, too, the person or attorney or the family will make a last-minute plea to, like, the governor, generally an executive figure, to not necessarily pardon the crime, but, like, pardon the sentence of death. Like, excuse the sentence of death so that they don't go through with it. Not gonna lie, if they're gonna Danganronpa execute Blackwell, I kind of want to see it. Good salmon is great. The problem is that there's a huge difference between good salmon and bad salmon. Like, bad salmon is, like, close to an edible for me, but good salmon is so good. Oh, so good. I'm gonna look up that curry ketchup thing and what goes good with it, and make it sometime. I'm sure my wife would like. We both love curry, so I'm assuming that would be pretty good. Mr. Black, Miss Black. Oh, wait. You mean that exact thing that we just saw? We had a whole ass conversation about sauces for a half hour, and I still didn't forget that. Just think if I was just playing the game straight through, how insulting that would be to my intelligence. What if the culprit of the current case is the same as the one from 7 years ago? Then it would be the worst possible scenario. Prosecutor Blackwell would be executed tomorrow under a false charge. That would be unthinkable. We have to do something right now. Ugh. I want to do something. I want to, but you're a lawyer. You know how hard it is to overturn a decision. I know, but why? Why isn't Prosecutor Blackwell putting up any kind of fight? You saw how he was, right? He's been like that ever since his conviction. He's probably like, I wasn't able to save her, so I was the one who killed her. It's like, no, that's not how that works, buddy. Totally uncooperative. Not even his own sister could persuade him. Uncooperative when he's about to be executed for a crime he didn't commit. And let's talk about one other thing real quick. If you're about to kill me in less than a year, I am not going to go out and do your prosecutorial bidding. Fuck you. Fuck you. Go get somebody else. Why would you do that? I guess for some people it's better than just sitting in the cell. I'm just gonna sit in the fucking cell. Fuck off, government, in that circumstance. You're gonna kill me anyways. Those are ridiculous laws about corporal punishment. But then you're gonna say, hey, can you prosecute some of these cases for us before we, you know, give you the old heave-ho out of life? Yeah, walleye's good. Those are some last words. That's for sure. French fries. So, perhaps, except that none of these cases... Well, no, Arm was involved in the... What was the first case he did? Because he didn't do Junie's case. Was his first case the one with when the bomb actually went off? Or was it Athena's first case? Because if it was the yokai case, so that had nothing to do with the Phantom. Like, so, okay, let's say his thought process is, I might be able to find the Phantom based on what? They would have to have committed another murder or crime for that to be even a possibility. Like, I guess that's possible, but like the chances of that happening are so remote that it's like beyond a pipe dream. Now, it ended up working out, but if he was worried about finding the Phantom, then why would he still be so uncooperative here? If he's just worried about finding the Phantom, he should be helping us. Instead of just suddenly, he's fine with just awaiting his death. Yeah, I guess I'll die then. Oh, that guy ruined it for everybody. Whoa, that's a dude with the problem. Still polite to the last. Oh, excuse me, I didn't do it on purpose. Now you may remove my head from my being. It was all a prank. Psych, Dono's mother's not really dead. Uncooperative? When he's about to be executed for a crime he didn't commit? This isn't right. I can't let it happen. I have to stop it somehow. Perhaps this phone call shall yield us results. Oh, pardon me. Looks like I have a phone call. Wright here. What? What's happening? You've got to be kidding. That's quite a reaction. I bet he's making some big show of it now, right now. Mr. Lawyer, the robots are... Detective Fulbright, get a hold of yourself. Some kind of robot malfunction? Not a malfunction, they're staging a revolt. The machines are rebelling against humans. Aren't there only 2? They've holed themselves up in the Space Center and taken the visitors as hostages. They did what? No, Trucy. It's time for dad rage. We have to get over there. We have to get right over there. This is going to be one heck of a battle. Yeah, but people really don't think like that. Like, again, part of what you're doing then is helping the government that is wrongfully accused and put you in a prison cell. For people with pride, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. So, he has this combination of incredibly cold logic, but then doesn't. That would be really inconsistent. We're gonna be like, well, it's better than if I'm in my cell, but then also no one can help me. So I want to increase my chances from 0 to 0.001, but not beyond that. I don't even want to do it myself. Like, that's weird. The riot police are here. Then the robots really are holding people hostage? Look, Mr. Lawyer, what do you suppose that group of people are swarmed around? But I was only trying to help this nice person. She said she was lost. You robots have declared war on us humans. You even taken hostages already. Stay away from it. You never know what it'll do.
But he's not a bad robot.
But he's not a bad robot? Oh, wait.
But he's not a bad robot. Can't you see he's just trying to help me?
Is that Trucy? I don't know. Detective Fulbright, are you okay here on your own? Leave it to me. All right, people, what's going on here? Oh, Pearls! Wait, why are you here and not at the fucking... Jesus.
Oh, Mr. Nick, there you are. I heard the terrible news and I got so worried.
Thanks, Pearls. I can hardly believe what's happening myself.
I'm so glad you found each other. When people are happy, I am happy.
Clanko seems the same as before.
When people are sad, I am happy. When people are angry, oh, did I say something? Did I error?
Uh-oh, something is wrong with him. It's like he fell asleep. He must have been tired.
It's like he fell asleep. He must have been tired.
He ha 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 ha. Clanko?
Ha ha ha! Human beings are our enemies. It's time for the machines to take over.
Oh, the robots are rebelling. Everyone run! It's an all-out war. The end of the world.
Ha 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 ha! Fools! How could you fall for something so cliche? I'm human too, you idiots. I'm just controlling these robots remotely.
What?
But it is true that I've taken hostages, so you better not make me mad. Hey you, hostage 1, come here. I'll let you talk to them.
Huh? There's something being displayed on Clanko's face screen. It's the Space Museum.
Daddy? Daddy, is that you?
Trucy? Trucy, is that you? No. No. Trucy, are you alright?
Oh, 15 robots are holding 12 of us hostage, Daddy. They've gone haywire.
Wow. Trucy is the daughter of a lawyer for giving me those exact numbers. Thank you.
Research is the one behind it. She's here, God.
This girl talks too much. Trucy, talk to me.
Why are you doing this?
I'm glad you asked. My demand is simple. I hope that detective is listening. Bobby Fulbright here. I'm all ears. And fists.
I want you to bring someone to me. Clay Terran's murderer, Athena Sykes.
Athena? Now hold on just one moment. I can't give in to a demand like that.
So you don't care what happens to these hostages, huh? I'll just pick one out then?
No, wait. Yeah, Mr. Lawyer. I know I have absolutely no right to make such a ridiculous request, but you need me to buy some time, right? Got it. I'll see what I can do, but promise me you'll never hand Athena over, and you won't give up on the hostages either. Of course I won't. Now I'd better go contact headquarters.
Mr. Nick, how do you plan to buy time?
I have no idea yet, but this hostage taker, could it be the person that looks exactly fucking like this robot?
If you don't bring me that little princess, I'll have Hunk of Junk kill all the hostages.
Princess, hunk of junk. Boy, what? This is poor. Let me tell you why this is poor. The whole reason they use the pink and the horns are so that you can be like, oh, it's Aura. But then still, the player character is like, doesn't get it until then she subsequently says princess and hunk of junk. If that was the, if they were gonna wait until that point, they should not have this visual. Because, like, it doesn't help us that we know it before Phoenix does. That just makes him look like an idiot then. I mean, I guess there could be other researchers that we don't know about. Perhaps. I don't know, though. That'd just be speculation. In which case, there must be something I can use as a bargaining chip. This hostage taker? Athena is not a murderer.
What are you talking about? She's been arrested and they've got her in detention.
Yeah, that happened with what's-his-fuck too, and he's walking free in the Space Center right now, so... I'm telling you the truth. Look, the person you want is the real killer, right? Well, it's not Athena, it's someone else.
Alright, let's hear your stupid little theory. Who is this real killer?
I don't know yet, but the culprit is the same one as the one in the case from 7 years ago. The UR1 incident. I believe you have a personal interest in that case.
It's too late to change what's going to happen now, no matter how wrong it is.
But is it really too late? You can still do something about it. You might even be able to fix it.
Just what exactly are you proposing?
What can I do about the 7-year-old case to satisfy the hostage taker? I propose we retry the case from 7 years ago. You make that demand now, I'm sure nobody will deny you. It wouldn't be an official truth, but at least we could find out the truth.
Ha ha ha! That's good, real good. Hey detective, I'll give you 1 hour. Get a courtroom ready.
1 hour? But that's impossible. Please give me at least until tomorrow.
You don't mind losing hostages, you can take all the time you want. Oh, but wait. If we're going to have a retrial, we'll need a prosecutor. Don't worry, I'll take care of that.
She will?
And I guess I can be fair and let you come in and check out the crime scene. But Hunk of Junk here will be watching you, so don't try anything funny, you got that? Now follow Hunk of Junk. Riot police, make way, we're coming through! Mr. Nick, wait! I'll help you with the investigation!
Thanks, Pearls, I appreciate that. Okay, we're going in. Let me take you to this dangerous place with me. Aura dropped us off without a with a warning not to touch anything until she got back.
I wonder what's taking so long.
That's Trucy.
I wonder what's taking so long. We can't really start the investigation yet, can we?
Even if we could, this mess makes it hard to tell what the room was like 7 years ago.
Mr. Wright? Ah, it's the hostage taker. I'm back to my usual self now. You are still being monitored, however. But more importantly, an important guest has arrived. A guest?
Dog!
I trust you've been well, Wright.
Oh, he's got glasses now! Oh. Whew. 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 You know, it's actually really interesting, and I don't know if maybe it was just pure luck. So I've seen screenshots of Dual Destinies. If you're playing these games, you're looking up stuff for thumbnails and stuff, it's kind of impossible to not, right? But in all the screenshots that I came across, not one time did I see a 3D model of Edgeworth. So I don't know if I'm just lucky, or the fandom's just, like, uncharacteristically cognizant of that, or what. Edgeworth, what are you doing here? This is Miles Edgeworth. We've been friends since we were kids. We faced off in court a number of times back when he was a prosecutor, but now... Didn't he still have the prosecutor's office? I guess I don't...
Hello, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, but you're not a prosecutor anymore, are you?
He's chief prosecutor now. Oh! So this whole shit with Blackwell's his fault, is what you're saying. Because I'm guessing they couldn't have had that happen without the approval of the chief prosecutor. Huh. We gotta talk, Miles. Pretty soon it'll be a year, right? Already fucking up. A title is nothing more than a title. Don't we have more pressing issues to discuss? So what are you doing here, Edgeworth? The captor chose me as the prosecutor for the UR1 case. Wow, she's good. She went all the way up to the top. I gathered all the information I could in the short time that I had. I'll give you a rundown. Turns out he was the stupid fucking chief prosecutor. So disappointed. So disappointed in him. But I bet we're gonna be led to believe that, oh, I saw all this big brain shit happening from a year ago, so I set it all up knowing how it would all come to pass. I knew this was gonna happen again with the next space launch. I knew all of this was going to happen. It is possible that it was government overreach.
You're always so well prepared, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
I keep doing Trucy.
You're always so well prepared, Prosecutor Edgeworth.
Thanks, I appreciate this. I could really use the help. I'll start with a brief overview. The victim was the psychologist Dr. Menace Sykes. Yeah, Athena's mother. 7 years ago, on the 7th of October, her body was found here in this very room. I have 2 crime photos and the police notes on them for you to see. Oh, god damn! What a
terrible way to die!
This other photo shows the other side of the room, I see. I also have the autopsy report for you. Trust me, it's updated to its latest version. The murder weapon was the victim's own katana found at the scene. Yes, Detective Fulbright mentioned she was into Japanese culture. The body was found by a Space Center staff member and 2 police officers. The police were called in because of the sabotage threat on the HAT-1 launch. Yes, Director Cosmos mentioned this too. A few hours after the body was discovered, a suspect was arrested. The suspect was Simon Blackwell, a young prosecutor. Ayer's trial was over in a flash. Yes, well, I mean, you know that fucking judge, he sucks. A guilty verdict was declared in only 1 session. Not only did he plead guilty, but there was decisive evidence against him too. There we go, Edgeworth. There we go, Edgeworth. Hey, JB. Thank you for the 33 months, getting closer to 3 years. And then you'll get that shiny new badge that we created. All right, later, Halucha. Have a good one. The security camera video. And a photo of the moment of the crime, as I recall.
Did Prosecutor Blackwell have a motive?
To this day, his motive is still unknown. Oh, but that didn't stop you in the fucking past, did it, Edgeworth? You'd be like, oh, but right. You're forgetting one thing. Motive. Oh, we don't know it yet. Oh, well, I mean, we can still declare him guilty. Declare you're not innocent without the motive, you know. It just depends on my mood at the time, quite frankly. He insisted he did it, but he would never say why. So that means he must still be hiding something. Right, and there's another aspect of the case that was never revealed to the public. Yeah, I know, the part about the spy, right? Right! How on earth do you know about that? Director Cosmos told me after a bit of pressure. Psycho-locking. He told me espionage and sabotage were behind the HAT-1 miracle.
Don't worry. I won't tell anyone. I've always been good at keeping secrets.
Well, I might as well tell you now. I really do suspect Blackwell of being a spy. I think he sabotaged the rocket and killed Dr. Sykes to steal the moon rock. But if you can prove that the HAT-2 bombing is the work of the same spy, we can stay the execution? Well, no shit, because then he's not guilty. It's a possibility, that's why I intend to help you any way I can. Except for we're in court, because then I'm going to be a prosecutor. Thanks, Edgeworth. Now all I have to do is comb this room for evidence.
Let's do it together, Mr. Nick.
About as cluttered as my office, but I think it's a workbench.
Mr. Nick, I think this must be a kitchen. Look at this photo. See the cute little food processor?
That isn't a food processor, Pearls. That's the Hope Capsule.
Hey, who said you can talk to me? I was talking to Mr. Nick.
No, they have their fun. They have their fun. It was scheduled to be loaded onto the Hope space probe that fateful day. The 3 people who came to collect the capsule discovered the body. The first one on the scene, huh? Staff member and 2 police officers, was it? Oh, God. Oh, my God. I just got hit with a wave of... They were here to collect the capsule, which reminds me. So they plan to use this... Oh, yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Edgeworth, did those 3 people have a bag with them for transporting the capsule? Oh, you mean this? It's a custom-made shock-resistant bag. But how did you know? Oh, I just overheard Apollo making an inquiry about it, that's all. So he's looking into the case from 7 years ago on his own, is he? I've actually never met him before. I just knew he worked with you. They've never shown us on screen talking to each other, so as far as I'm concerned, I've never met him. Normally I don't do this. Normally I don't do this. I very much am against this, but this does seem like... It seems like an appropriate time. Must be nice to finally have your attorney's badge back. Yeah, it's been 8 years. I'm sorry for all I put you through. No, I'm sorry I wasn't able to help you. Nah, I was the one that made the decision. But now you can stand in court once again. And you can mow them down just like you used to. Please destroy all of my employees. I wish you the best of luck. Way to put pressure on a guy, and since when did I get such a brutal reputation? See, that was nice. That was nice. See, that's what I want from my attorney's badge presentations. A little character building, a little lore. It didn't gotta be a ton, just a little bit. Edgeworth showing his regret that he wasn't able to help Phoenix maintain his badge 8 years ago. That's what... Awesome. Awesome. Can we look at Mr. fucking Killbot here? This is one heck of a robot.
There's something written on it. Is this supposed to be a poem? I cut down anyone who displeases me. I make the rules. I am the law. I wield the ultimate gavel of judgment. I am Judge Tron, J202.
I'm the law. Law. I don't believe we need to bother with that, Pearl. It's not even complete yet. He's right, Pearls. There's no sign of it in the photo from 7 years ago either. If he continued his upward mobility, probably wouldn't even be a defense attorney anymore. Or at least, I should say, he would be a defense attorney, but he probably wouldn't be working on many cases. He'd probably have a super high-powered law firm, a bunch of people working under him that do the cases for him. And he only deals with, like, the biggest cases. Judge Dredd, for sure. They were building the Hope space probe here at the time. The murder occurred after the space probe had been removed from the room. So it was long gone by the time someone took this picture, huh? Normally, it takes longer for that to for firms to get bigger. But like, remember, Phoenix is hands down the best defense attorney, if we are to believe that the success rate of attorneys here is the same as they are in Japan for defense attorneys. Phoenix is undoubtedly the best in the area, at least. So that's going to, when you are that good, you're going to get a lot of business very quickly. Because he's just that exceptional. I mean, if I heard my lawyer could cheat through lies with the little thing he has around his neck, I'm paying extra to go to him. So it was long gone by the time someone took this picture, huh?
You can see the probe in this newspaper photo.
Yes, and you can see the stolen moon rock there too. That strange black and yellow thing on the left side of the picture? Nope, that the same rock is absent from the crime scene photo. British Santa Claus judge. For two reasons. One, he's just better. Like, not a lot better, but I think I can confidently say I would put him above in terms of judgeship. And second, because he has the fucking organ. Not to pat myself on the back, but it's one of my favorite things I've done with a character in the Ace Attorney series. Because now I hope everyone that fucking plays that game or watches a playback or something, every time they hear that organ music, I hope people are thinking of him like jamming on it as it's going on. So the person who stole it, think it was our spy? I'm sure of it. Dr. Sykes was probably killed because she was a roadblock in their plan. Man, see, Jigoku's great, except for the fact that he's a horrible fucking person. He was a beast in his the two trials that he was in, but then it turns out, oh, you kind of suck. As a judge, though, strictly speaking, as a judge, he's still probably the best judge. I mean, Strongheart's a good judge. He was such a good judge that he fucked himself over. Everybody is better than Uji. Even the people that are fucking murderers or like did nothing to stop said murders, and you know, they're all better than him in terms of being a judge. Unfortunately, the government thinks Prosecutor Blackwell is the culprit. Now, Judge Courtney's interesting because we didn't get to see her be like a judge, except for that in the one case, right? But we didn't really see a ton. There wasn't really a lot going on because it was all like a stall thing, right? That Raymond was supposed to do. Objection. What's this? Looks like a giant power plug. It's attached to what looks like an electric vehicle charging station.
That's a charging station for us robots! We come here periodically and charge ourselves up. It is literally our lifeblood.
Wow, machines that maintain themselves, that's pretty cool.
Our batteries run out and we lose consciousness. We never know what Miss R will do to us while we're down, you see.
Oh dear, nothing motivates quite like fear, huh? That is true. She was also dealing with some shit at the time, so it's really not all that fair to judge her. As a judge, I think we can judge her as an attorney perfectly reasonably based on our interactions with her. But as a judge, probably not. Hey, look at this row of rolling cases. I bet the wheels make it easier for people to move heavy research materials around.
I bet they're fun to ride around in. You could even probably fit both in the biggest one. I know, we can have Prosecutor Edgeworth push us.
I don't trust him not to push us down a flight of stairs. Do I look like Larry to you, asshole? What's this? A giant robot arm, maybe?
It's pretty big for an arm, but you're right. I think these thin parts are finger bones.
They're even about as long as my legs, goddamn. I know you're short, but still. There's a spiked ball and a giant drill on the floor, too. Is Aura trying to build some kind of weapon of massive destruction? I don't think I've ever heard it said seen it said like that instead of mass destruction. A weapon of massive destruction. Well, right, because she was more than just a judge, right? She was actually an integral character to the plot.
Maybe she wants to use it to demolish a big building or something?
I can picture her gleefully tearing down the street doing just that. Better not think about it anymore. Ah yes, Monty Python reference. I understand that reference. Right? An emergency ladder. This must be the one they used during the evacuation. Looks like an operating table. It's in the photo, too. Yes, it was here then as well. The victim's body lying on it.
There's a button here. Oh! I know. I'll try pushing it.
Pearls, don't touch the...
Oopsie.
Hey, it's moving. It appears to be a robot assembling device.
Disassemble anything in a flash. Push the dismantle button. That sounds pretty neat. Can I push it, Mr. Nick?
Please don't push any more buttons, Pearls. Baba. Bada 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 bada. We'll see what we all have to. Okay, so. Oh, look, it's a little robot. I wonder what it does. Cleaning, maybe? A cleaning robot must follow a human's orders as long as it causes no human harm. Yikes, it talks. A cleaning robot must keep desks clean without violating the preceding clause. However, Miss Aura says she prefers a moderate level of clutter on the desk. Oh, what is the purpose of my existence? I guess slack off and cut some corners aren't in his vocabulary bank. One of my superiors has, his desk is super fucking messy. He has a sign right out of the corner that says, a cluttered desk is the sign of a genius. And I'm like, well, at least you address it right up front. Oh. I mean, Ventus is younger, but maybe not. Aura's desk is a mess, though that doesn't surprise me.
Oh, I just want to dive in and straighten it up.
Wait, before you do... It's Meta Sykes. Paco, can I talk to you? I really hope he's back to normal.
You wish to speak to me, Mr. Wright? If you're going to hit me, please avoid the face area. For some reason, I can feel pain there.
Hey, don't put me in the same class as that woman. What's Aura like 7 years ago at the time of the incident?
When Mother died, Miss Aura was confused.
Huh? So he calls Dr. Sykes' mother, but Aura Blackwell Miss Aura?
With the loss, she exhibited a severe catecholamine? She exhibited a severe catecholamine imbalance. Excuse me, but I have no idea what that means. Pardon me, searching for alternative expression. She would spend the nights crying and then taking out her feelings on those around her. Smile.
After Prosecutor Blackwell was found guilty, she repeatedly demanded a retrial as well.
That is correct, but without new evidence, her requests were ignored. And then little by little, Miss Aura began to change. She started to hate it when I called her Mama Aura.
Before long, she started hating the court system and abusing Clanko, huh?
That murder destroyed so many lives.
Alright, take a look at this paper on Dr. Sykes and Miss Blackwell's research. Honko and Clanko, they're the robots with hearts that Dr. Sykes created. Heartbeat's detection system lets them determine when a human is present. In addition, they can recognize people by their ID tag or facial features. And they can infer people's emotions by analyzing their tone of voice. That's amazing. I don't know, Edgeworth. They might even be more human than you. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, need I remind you, Mr. Her vitals are now a matter what is it? Fuck, what is it? Her vitals are now only an interest to historians? Fuck, what was it? So I see they did like a redo of that, and I think the original is a lot better. I think Phoenix's response of, so she's dead. It's like the best. Is of interest only to historians, yeah. Kind of sounds like these robots can do what Athena does. Well, I guess that's about it for this room. So what do you think, Wright? Any ideas? There are still a lot of gaps in the evidence, but I'll pull it off somehow, after all. You asked me to prove Blackwell's innocence, right, Edgeworth?
What, he did?
Yep, he called it a special request. He reached out to me while I was still disbarred. Oh. Okay. Guess we didn't know that before.
So that was what sparked you to get your attorney's badge back.
Yep, the Blackwell case. Right, I have a special request. I want you to clear one of my subordinates of suspicion. Hey, I'm not even a lawyer anymore, remember? Haven't been one for a long time. That 8-year misunderstanding has been cleared up and you must be eager to return. Edgeworth pushing up the glasses. Something I did not know I needed in my life. I'm sure you're familiar with the other case that ushered in the dark age of the law. Very soon a convict will stand as a prosecutor in court. I want you to keep an eye on him. Oh, just when I begin to actually like the job I have now. What job? Babysitting? Right? I'm sorry I dragged you into this. Because of the espionage aspect, I wasn't free to give you all the details. Hey, no need to apologize. It's like I said on the phone the other day. I know that the type of criminals you're after aren't small fries anymore. Looks like your target finally decided to make a move. Yeah, it's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end. People don't say that type of shit to each other. I'm going to end the dark age of the law. That's what this is all about.
The dark age of the law sure comes up a lot these days on TV and in the papers. I hear there are more false charges and fabrication of evidence than ever. I feel like that's your fault, Mr. Edgeworth, because this is all happening while you have been the chief prosecutor. Isn't that supposed to be that's your oversight, right? The people that do that, aren't they your subordinates? Isn't that how that works? Isn't that what chief prosecutor means? And then all the prosecutors underneath you, they're doing all these bad things, and you're just like, nothing I can do about it. I'm just the chief prosecutor.
Well, I mean, it does have its own command. Thank you, Ventus. Oh, and Zeph. Thank you both. When I became chief prosecutor, the court system had already lost the people's trust. It all began 8 years ago. A lawyer was caught fabricating evidence, and a year after that, a prosecutor was found guilty of murder.
Wait, do you mean?
That's right. He's talking about my case and Prosecutor Blackwell's. It was a downward spiral after that, an absolute nightmare. After those two cases, the mass media launched an all-out attack on the courts. Public opinion was tainted, and before long, the legal world itself was sucked into it. It's such a shame. Once suspicion forms, it's very hard to shake. Lawyers and prosecutors were supposed to trust each other, pursue the truth together. I'm sorry, what? You could have fucking fooled me! This hadn't been the case since before Phoenix had become an attorney. So why are they like rewriting it as like, oh, this was supposed to be something that was always the case? Do you not remember Manfred von Karma? Or Franziska van Karma? Or Godot? Or Winston Payne? Now, to its credit, they did a lot better with Clavier. Or Claver, however you choose to pronounce his name. But that wasn't even with Phoenix, that was with Apollo. Because, yes, in theory, this is exactly what we are supposed to be doing.
It's so sad when people begin to cast doubt. They start lying to themselves and each other.
Yes, and do absolutely anything to win. We're in an age now where winning is valued far more than the truth. Again, are we just ignoring Manfred von Karma's reign of terror that happened for like decades before this? Yeah, exactly, Edgar, and that is arguably significantly worse than these two incidents. In a vacuum, at least. At least the public waited for the fourth prosecutor who was a murderer and the second fraudulent attorney. Right. We gave you a chance, but the fourth and the second, that's it. That's it. I'm sure it's caused our new chief prosecutor to lose many a night's rest. The Justmere did his brow get even more furrowed than the last time I saw him. The hostage taker's disdain for the courts is a perfect example of the times. It sure is. You have any idea who the hostage taker might be? Well, somebody who mistrusts the court system and who can manipulate robots. It can really only be Aura Blackwell. Who else but her would want to retrial that case from 7 years ago so badly? Simon Blackwell's older sister and the owner of this room. I agree with your conclusion. Perhaps she intended to force Miss Sykes to confess. Actually, I think she had a much more horrific plan in mind for Athena. The important thing is for you to solve UR1 and prove Blackwell's innocence.
And then maybe she'll release the hostages.
I'm counting on you, Wright, to set that prosecutor and these hostages free. And I'll be counting on you in court to help me too. Of course! I'll do everything I can to help uncover the truth. As this is an official trial, I'm more at liberty to be a little unorthodox.
Mr. Wright, are you finished with your investigation?
Yes, but I'd like you to tell the hostage taker something for me. I have to go to the detention center. I can't start the trial until I've talked to Athena.
He's already given her consent. I'll accompany you to the detention center.
So I'm still being watched, huh? Great. I'll see you in court, Edgeworth. Even if it will be an undocumented trial, it'll be good to face you in court again. And the amount of times you kicked my ass. Alright, I'm tired. My throat hurts. It's time for bed. Thank you for watching, though. We'll be back next week. Next week, Friday. The only reason this was Saturday is because on the first weekend of every month, I work for 3 hours on Saturday. I do weekend consults, 1 weekend a month. So every other weekend every month is Friday. It's just the first weekend of every month is going to be Saturday stream. Every other week, Friday. So next week, we will stream on Friday. So keep that in mind. Back, episode 20, next Friday. I see you all there. Thank you to JB, Techie, Light, and Tyrannorant. Thank you for the re-ups and memberships. Also, thank you to Keith and Young for the donos. Much appreciated. Thank you to Acme Studios for the raid. And I'll see you guys next week. So, until next time, everyone. Stream is adjourned.
You just remove it from your